there, fantasy owners. Welcome to LTC Fantasy here. Not sure if you're chiming in via YouTube or listening via podcast. Either way, really appreciate the listens here. We're going to continue with our team reviews here. We're going to look at the Carolina Hurricanes today just because, well, the draft is done. Basically, free agency is done. We're in the dog days where it's arbitration hearings. Outside of Kadri, wish he'd make up his mind because there's reports Colorado, reports the Islanders. Heard a little bit about maybe Calgary trying to make a push, but wish he'd sign already so we as fantasy owners can kind of plan and get going on that. But outside of that, rosters are pretty much set, other than there might be the odd tweak based on injury, the odd depth kind of signing, but realistically it won't affect anything fantasy-wise here. So we'll get right into it. Goaltenders, the tandem in Carolina, same as last year, Frederik Andersen and Antti Raanta. Now, Andersen, he's 32 years old now. Last year played 52 games, was 35-14-3 with 4 shutouts, 2.17 goals against average, and a .922 save percentage. Really nice season for him. You could see he struggled a little bit in Toronto. Might have been the media market crazy fan base because it really is the epicenter of hockey there. When he got out of the extra pressure there, he really flourished in Carolina in his first season there. Expect Carolina to do even better. They're deeper up front. We'll get into that in a little bit here. So Andersen really will be a relevant fantasy goalie barring injury this coming season. Antti Raanta, the backup, he's 33 years old. Last year got into 28 games. He was 15-5-4 with 2 shutouts, a 2.45 goals against average, and a .912 save percentage. Really nice numbers for a backup goalie. So if you're one of the owners that keeps the third goalie and keeps one where you drop and pick up there on spot starts, Raanta's a really good pickup for you if you do catch him on a day he starts. According to dailyfaceoff.com, the defensive pairings, their top pairing will be Jacob Slavin and the guy they picked up for nothing, Brent Burns, basically. Even got San Jose to eat some salary, which was a really nice deal. Jacob Slavin, he should also be on the second PP and second PK units. He's 28 years old. Last year, in 79 games played, he had 4 goals, 38 assists for 42 points. So over half point per game. So obviously will be on most rosters. Just might be drafted a little bit later. 7 power play points, had 50 hits, 121 blocks. So blocks are counted in your league. That adds some value for you, and 165 shots on goal. His new D partner, Brent Burns, coming over. He should be on the top power play unit. He's all offense. 37 years old, so he is getting up there in age. But most insiders say how he's basically a physical specimen. Really dedicates himself to training. And even at 36 last year, he had a really nice season. 82 games played, had 10 goals, 44 assists for 54 points. So a 50-point D-man on well, let's be honest, a weaker San Jose team. They're not quite in the glory days. Their window was definitely shutting over there. He had 18 power play points, so nice production on the power play. 55 hits, 150 blocks, so he definitely steps in front of the puck for you. You can tell by his nice, nice smile if you ever seen him in those Kit Kat commercials. Missing a few chiclets there for sure. And 203 shots on goal, so nice shot total. Very well-rounded. Don't see why it wouldn't be the same on a very deep Carolina team. Second pairing is Brady Shea and Brett Pesce. Now Brady Shea, he should also be on the first PK unit. He's 28 years old. Last year, nice production, 82 games played, 9 goals, 30 assists for 39 points. So almost a half point per game. So if you need a depth defenseman due to injury, etc., don't really see him being drafted. But if you have somebody who's injured, he's a nice pickup for you to get you through that injury. 95 hits, 73 blocks, and 184 shots on goal. Definitely likes to shoot the puck there. His deep partner, Brett Pesce, he should also be on the first PK unit. He's 27 years old. Last year, 70 games played, 7 goals, 21 assists for 28 points. So not the greatest offensive production. He had 3 power play points, 39 hits, 99 blocks, and 148 shots on goal. So realistically, we're probably leaving him alone unless you need a D-man to stream on a light night, etc. If you're in the Yahoo leagues there. Outside of that, you're realistically leaving him alone. The third pairing now should be Ethan Bear and Dylan Coughlin. Coughlin they picked up for nothing again there, but realistically their third pairing, not a lot of fantasy value here. They are younger. Ethan Bear should be on the second PK, 25 years old. Last year, 58 games played, only 5 goals, 9 assists for 14 points, so nothing really relevant there. He had 1 power play point, 55 hits, 41 blocks, and 97 shots on goal. So realistically, there'll be a lot better options for you to pick up on the waiver wire. Dylan Coughlin, he's 24 years old. Last year had 59 games played, 3 goals, 10 assists for 13 points, 4 on the power play, so likely he's not going to get any power play time in Carolina, barring absolute decimation of their power play, because they're really deep, so it'd be hard for him to squeak in there. 62 hits, 61 blocks, 108 shots on goal. Again, you're probably going to leave him alone because there will be a lot better options for you on the waiver wire. Top line will be Max Pacioretty, who they picked up for half a bag of beans. Won't even say a bag of beans. They got him for future considerations, along with Coughlin there. Sebastian Aho and Seth Jarvis. Now, Max Pacioretty, he should be on the top power play unit, 33 years old, had an injury-plagued season last year, only got into 39 games, but in those 39 games, he almost got a 20-goal season, 19 goals, 18 assists for 37 points, so point-per-game player basically on a deep Carolina forward group, so should definitely produce. He had 12 power play points in only 39 games, 30 hits, 21 blocks, 148 shots on goal in only 39 games. So he would have been right around that 300 shot mark over a full season there. His centerman now is Sebastian Aho. He should be on the top power play and top PK unit. Young, only 25 years old. Last year, 79 games played, had 37 goals, 44 points for 37 goals, 44 assists for 81 points. So over a point per game. As expected from Aho, yes, he will be fantasy relevant. Might be a little lower on the goals and higher on the assists because he has a new trigger man, but definitely going to be fantasy relevant for you. 28 power play points through 76 hits, so not bad amount of hits for an offensive guy. 23 blocks, 221 shots on goal. And the other winger, Seth Jarvis, he should be on the second power play, only 20 years old. High expectations for him. He did really good as a 19-year-old last year. 68 games played, had 17 goals, 23 assists for 40 points. He's more than likely, I'd say, obvious that he's going to improve on that. He had 6 power play points. He had 69 hits, 21 blocks, 110 shots on goal. This is one guy that you could probably sneak in there in the later rounds. He's probably not going to be drafted too early, and if you can get him, I think you probably really benefit from it. Second line is going to be Andrei Svechnikov, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and Teuvo Teravainen. Now Svechnikov, he should be on the top power play unit. He's only 22 years old. He's really young. I thought he'd be in the 24 age range, but he's only 22 still. Last year, 78 games played, another 30-goal season. 30 goals, 39 assists for 69 points. Obviously fantasy relevant. 22 power play points, so a lot of production on the power play. 189 hits, so he adds some physicality for you, especially if that's scored in your league. 15 blocks, obviously not going to step in front of a puck for you, but 249 shots on goal, so puts up a pile of pucks on net there. Their centerman, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, he should be on the second power play unit. He too is only 22 years old. Last year, 66 games played, he had 12 goals, 17 assists for 29 points. To be honest, probably going to leave him alone, but he is second line center now, so do monitor him. He had 4 power play points, 74 hits, 15 blocks, and 81 shots on goal. To start out the season, he's not going to probably be very low ownership in leagues there, so I'd put him as a watch candidate and see how that pans out for him. The last one, Teuvo Teravainen. Obviously, Kotkaniemi is having better line mates this year in Svechnikov and Teravainen there, but Teravainen should be on the top power play, top penalty kill unit. He's the old man at 27, still pretty young guy on this line, but 77 games played. He has 22 goals, 43 assists for 65 points, so really nice production there. Should have him on your roster if you can get him in the mid to later rounds there. 31 power play points. He had 15 hits, 30 blocks, and 202 shots on goal. Their third line is Jesper Fast, Jordan Staal, and Andre Casse. Now Fast, he should be on the second PK unit. He's 30 years old now. Probably, to be honest, going to leave him alone, but we'll go through it. He had 82 games played. He had 14 goals, 20 assists for 34 points. So nice production for a third line forward. Just maybe not nice production for your fantasy team there. 2 power play points. He had 109 hits, 36 blocks, and 97 shots on goal. Centerman Jared Staal. He should be on the second PK unit. Last year he did get some power play time, but with Pacioretty and Jarvis emerging, etc., probably not going to get power play time unless there's injury. He's 33 years old now. Last year he had 78 games played. He had 17 goals, 19 assists for 36 points, 2 power play points, 212 hits. So if hits are counted in your league and you're getting almost half a point per game, that might be somebody you want in a banger league, but realistically in a standard scoring league, you're going to leave him alone. He had 29 blocks and 146 shots on goal. New addition, Andre Casse. He's 26 years old. Last year, 50 games played. He had 14 goals, 13 assists for 27 points. So, nice depth move for Carolina on the third line, but again, you're probably not going to have him on your fantasy roster. Last year, 8 power play points. That was during the stretch where Toronto really had a lot of forward injuries there. Don't really see him getting much power play time in Carolina. Unless, again, barring injury, but 29 hits, 32 blocks, 119 shots on goal. More than likely leaving him alone because there isn't a lot of fantasy value there. Their fourth line is Jordan Martinook, Jack Drury, and Martin Nikas. Now, Jordan Martinook, he's 30 years old. Realistically, you're leaving him alone. Last year, 59 games played, 6 goals, 9 assists for 15 points, 83 hits, 11 blocks, and 77 shots on goal. So, good fourth line player, but none of the stats really jump out at you where you might be able to plug him in somewhere on your roster. Jack Drury, he's on the second PP unit, only 22 years old, really young kid. He only played 2 games last year in the NHL. He's had 2 goals in those 2 games, so might be somebody to watch because he did put up 52 points in 68 games in the AHL last year, but he will be getting fourth line minutes, so really do leave him alone and watch to see if he goes up the depth chart there. And Martin Nikas, he's on the second PP unit, 23 years old, down to the fourth line now, but it should be a rather offensive fourth line, not your typical fourth line in Carolina. Last year, 78 games played, 14 goals, 26 assists for 40 points. Had 4 power play points, 55 hits, 19 blocks, 159 shots on goal. So it will be an offensive fourth line in Carolina. Just probably not drafting or picking any of those up. Hopefully somebody else in your league drafts him based on name. That'll leave you a little stronger player. Just with fourth line minutes, I just don't see Nikas quite having as much production as he did last year. We'll be out in a few days with another one here. Hope you really did enjoy the episode. If you're watching via YouTube, please hit like, hit subscribe. Remember that notification bell so you don't miss out on future episodes. And if you're listening via podcast, please hit the heart, hit follow, whatever platform you're listening on. That way you don't miss out on future episodes. And we'll be out in a little bit before we start getting into our sleepers and top D-men, forwards, goalies, etc. to really help you out in your fantasy drafts this year. Good luck to all you fantasy owners and enjoy the rest of the off season.